Hi, welcome to the second series of the AIS Ask an Architect and WIELD Partnership for Women's History Month. We're fortunate to have April Drake with us here today, who works at HDR Architects. And she spent a lot of her career doing outreach and volunteering with and giving back to the profession. But before we get into that, April, I want to start by asking you, what does your typical day look like and what are your job responsibilities at HDR?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Really looking forward to this conversation. I am, like you said, Senior Project Architect at HDR. My typical day is really just checking in with the team, seeing what they need, checking the schedule, making sure that the project is progressing forward. As a senior PA, my overall role and responsibility is just to make sure that we get the project done on time, and that the level of detail and quality of the project matches the design phase that we're in and also aligns with the contract. So all of that together, a little bit of management, a little bit of doing detailing, always meeting with the team, always checking in with our discipline leads of structural, mechanical, just that overall coordination. So I'm responsible for that, not by myself. I'm definitely a team. It's always a team effort. Could not do it by myself, but just being that leader and guider for each project.
So obviously, it's, like you said, it's a team effort. And so I'm guessing from time to time when you're working on details or anything else, your team calls you or says, hey, I need this type of information. What type of information do you find they ask about?
Everything.
Okay.
So a lot of times people are coming over to my desk and they're asking about a detail, asking about the type of material, different vendors who offer those materials, and a lot of times we sit down together, research it, and with the internet now you can find just about anything, but sitting down as a team and figuring out where do we go to get this, what does that detail look like, finding some cut sheets online, finding details online, figuring out how they apply to our project, not just copying them and pasting them, but actually modifying them to make sure they're in alignment with our particular our scope and our function. So they also ask me different questions about mentoring, whether it's the ARE or just different things like that. So I get a variety of questions depending on the day.
Okay. And speaking of the ARE, you've been volunteering with NCARB. Tell us a little bit about your responsibilities with that.
So I've been volunteering with NCARB for 5 years now.
Okay.
I started out doing different task forces for the examination committee. So I've done item writing, which is very difficult. I'm actually writing questions for the exam, case study, doing the case studies for the new ARE 5.0. And in the very beginning, I started out on the mapping task force where we map questions from 4.0 over to 5.0. But most recently, the last 2 years, I've been on the examination committee, which does the overall strategic planning for the ARE.
That sounds like a lot.
Yes.
And I'm sure because those people come from across the country, there's traveling involved. Like, for example, I think you just got back from an event.
Yes.
Tell us about
just
that.
got back from our last meeting for fiscal year 19.
Okay.
So we do normally travel maybe once or twice a year. And it's really cool because you do meet different architects from around the country. So the examination committee is made up of other architects that are on their state licensing board, and having their input on what's going on the exam, and having their understanding, because once you're licensed, you are passed off from NCARB to your local jurisdiction, and making sure that they are in alignment with what's on the exam, that they trust that you are, qualified to stamp drawings is very important.
So that's kind of on one end of things, but at the other end of things, you volunteer with some of the summer camps, with some of the AIAS and NOMAs events. Tell us a little bit about those type of activities.
Yes, volunteer for AIA. I am on the AIA Northern Virginia local board. And I also am past chair of the Women in Architecture Committee for AIA Northern Virginia. And with that, I've sat on several panels, whether it's been for Supergirl Shine, or I've actually even created a Girl Scout STEM event. And locally, or lately, I was here a few weeks ago for hip hop architecture, which was very exciting. And even have one of the little models on my desk that I did
Nice.
when I was here. But that experience was just so powerful and impactful to me. I was able to stay here for 2 days, Monday and Thursday. It was great to see how they had grown over the last few days, and really excited to see if in a few years any of them actually do become architects or urban designers or landscape architects as well. So I really do think that we will see some future architects out of that group, and they can say they got their start at hip hop architecture.
That is exciting. And you were talking about how you have it on your desk. That's exciting too. And so they left you with that. What kind of advice would you leave with the students or other emerging professionals that are watching this video?
The advice that I would leave is one that someone gave to me.
Okay.
Get licensed.
That's a good one.
And didn't know exactly how important that would be in my life. I had come across architects that, were licensed, that weren't licensed in the early part of my career. And one of them told me the most important thing you can do is become a licensed architect. And that was before I was even really aware of, how many, Black women weren't licensed at that time. And I mean, we were nowhere near 450 women. We were probably not even at 200 at that time. And I received that advice from a male coworker to get licensed. And having that license has allowed me to make the decision on where I want to be and how I want my career to grow. And I'm really appreciative of that little piece of advice that he gave me years ago. For that reason, I can make my own choices now.
That's what it's all about. I mean, as architects, making choices and helping people decide their choices is really powerful.
Yes.
Yeah, so as we close up, anything else you want to say?
No, I just really want to thank you. This was very easy. Great to have a conversation with you, and very excited for what's to come for Women's History Month.
Yeah, and thank you for all you do and you continue to do for the profession and bringing new people into the profession.
Thank you.